we are presented by Home Depot. What a night on the baseball calendar, JP Morosi. You thought your Father's Day was going to be relaxing. Think again. Good morning. Your present, some breaking news. We have been trying to make sense of this Rafael Devers deal from both sides. You've had a few hours to digest it. What new comes to mind? Good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. Let's start with the San Francisco side of things. And you look at the Giants, and in recent years, whether it was Aaron Judge or Juan Soto, they've been trying for a long time to bring in a star-level position player to change the lineup. They have struck out in a lot of ways in terms of the free agent market, although they did, of course, bring in Chapman and Adames the last couple of years. Well, here is now the man to make the symphony all work together, and that's Rafael Devers. Probably their best pure power hitter since Bonds. And I love Lauren that in the overall season of Devers, he has the slow start, doesn't look quite comfortable, and then he bounces back to show that he's still the same player that he's always been. So clearly this remains an elite bat. And if you are in a position as an organization where you can't sign an Aaron Judge or a Juan Soto or a Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and a player of this caliber becomes available, let's even just look at the Rafi-Vladdy comparison. Devers is outperforming Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this season. And over the long scope of his career, he's been a little more consistent than Vladdy. Well, the amount of money that is left on Devers' contract right now is about half of the money in terms of aggregate. It's not on a per-year basis, but it's like half of what the Jays are going to spend to extend Vladdy for the long tenure of that contract. So in some ways, Lauren, I'm not going to use the word bargain because it's a lot of money, but the Giants are getting Devers at substantially less money than what the Mets are paying Soto or the Jays are paying Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So I think for this team at this time, with Buster Posey leading the way, it's the right competitive move at the right time for the San Francisco Giants.
From a Red Sox perspective, and you heard D-Row because you watched the show saying in the short term they can't cover it. What about the long term? I mean, selling this to the fan base now has been pretty brutal the past couple hours.
It has been, Lauren, and I think that a couple things about the Red Sox end of things. Number one, this is clearly saying to the world, and it's not an easy thing for Red Sox Nation to process, that this team is now the team of Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer and Christian Campbell and Cesar Rafaela. This is now a young team. And, of course, Bregman's on there now, and as we know, he's battled injuries this season. He can opt out after this year is over. That, to me, is one of that's like the sub-headline of all of this, is that you might get to opening day 2026, and you don't have Devers, and you may not have Bregman either. Are you going to get Kyle Tucker? Because that might be the one way that you answer this, to say, listen, Devers, for whatever reason, the chemistry wasn't good about his willingness or lack thereof to play different positions, and we had to make a change. Well, okay. But if you don't bring in Kyle Tucker, and if you don't bring in someone of that caliber, what are you going to do to finish ahead of the New York Yankees? Because Aaron Judge isn't going anywhere, okay? And so at some point you've got to find some stars to match up with what the Yankees have. And if you can't get there on the mound or with the everyday club, if you lose Bregman, where do you go? Now, if you're really right that Anthony and Meyer are ready to be stars right now, okay, but you'd better be right. And I think that's what probably Red Sox fans are saying. They were just seeing this team now, Lauren, climb back into contention. Yeah. And I think the other piece of all of this, and I checked on this again this morning, there has not been a final decision made yet on what position Devers will play in San Francisco. The important point here is his lack of willingness to play first base for the Red Sox was not a question of athleticism or his inability to handle it. He could handle it without a doubt. It's a matter of what he wanted to do and what he was all in to do. He knows, I think, with the Giants, they've already got someone who's a Platinum Glove winner in Chapman at third base. So it's either going to be first base or DH for Devers in San Francisco. Wilmer Flores part of that mix, Dominic Smith part of that mix. We'll see what happens, but from what I was told, there's no final decision made yet. But I have to believe, Lauren, there's a much higher chance of him playing first base in San Francisco than there ever was for him playing it in Boston.
And boy, this next week will be super interesting. And as if we didn't get enough West Coast news, Shohei Ohtani's pitching tonight for the Dodgers on a big league mound for the first time in almost 2 years. I mean, was this always the timeline, JP? Was it hurried? Take me inside.
Lauren, it's so interesting because when we were recently out there in LA for a showcase game, the sense that I got was a little before the All-Star break is when Ohtani might get back on the mound in a regular season game. Well, we're a month before the All-Star game, and here he is tonight back on the mound. I think the important caveat here to all the fans who want to watch Ohtani pitch, and I'm certainly one of them, tune in early. Tune in early tonight, okay? It's a 10 o'clock Pacific time, or 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific game. Be ready early, because he may not go beyond one inning. I think the idea, Lauren, is that he might not be fully stretched out until the All-Star break, but I think what Dave Roberts was saying last night to reporters was basically that they've now gotten to the point where the simulated situations have basically run their course. He's used to the mound, he's used to competing, and here he now has the chance to get back on the mound for the first time ever in a Dodger uniform. It's the first time in any competitive Major League context since August the 23rd of 2023, while still with the Los Angeles Angels, long before free agency. It's just, Lauren, there is so much new here. You've got the Dodgers now. They're feeling the heat from the Giants. What a time. And as you referenced, you've got the Red Sox visiting San Francisco on Friday. So my advice to everybody, it's West Coast Baseball Week on MLB Network.
Okay.
Just stay up late, enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch these teams all competing out west.
You will be watching. I know that is the case. JP Morosi, what's your favorite dinosaur, by the way? Dero wants to know.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king. The king.
The classic
The king.
Robert Flores.
Easy choice.
Yeah.